The fishing line snapped tight so hard that Tyler almost fell into the dark lake. "Help me!" he screamed as something huge pulled him toward the water. The moon was bright, but the lake looked black, like ink spilled across the world. The boat rocked back and forth. Ethan grabbed Tyler's jacket. Marcus dropped the flashlight. It rolled across the boat and spun in circles. The water exploded. Not like a fish jumping. Not like a splash. It was something bigger. Something that rose up slowly, dripping water, taller than any man. And it was holding Tyler's fishing line in its long, wet fingers. The line was not caught on a fish. It was wrapped around a hand. A cold, grey hand. With no eyes, just smooth skin where the face should be. Tyler's hook was stuck deep inside it. And then it opened its mouth. But there was no mouth. Just a long crack tearing open across its face. And it began to climb into the boat. Marcus screamed. Ethan let go. The boat flipped sideways. The creature's hand grabbed Tyler's ankle and dragged him into the water. The lake swallowed him whole. The last thing Ethan saw was Tyler's hand reaching up, before it disappeared under the dark surface. And then the water became still. No ripples. No bubbles. Just silence. What was that thing? And was Tyler still alive under that lake? 3 weeks earlier. It started as a normal fishing trip. Tyler, Ethan, and Marcus were best friends. They lived in a small town in Michigan. Every summer, they fished at Black Hollow Lake. It was quiet there. No houses nearby. No boats. Just trees and water. People in town said the lake was deep. Deeper than anyone could measure. But the boys didn't care. They liked how peaceful it felt. On the first day of summer break, Tyler had an idea. "Let's camp at the lake," he said. "Overnight." Marcus wasn't sure. "My grandpa said weird stuff happens there at night." Tyler laughed. "Like what? Fish with legs?" Ethan smiled. "Probably just old stories." They packed snacks, fishing gear, and a small tent. Tyler brought his dad's old metal tackle box. Ethan brought a new fishing rod he got for his birthday. Marcus brought a flashlight and extra batteries. They rode their bikes down the dirt road that led to the lake. The trees grew thicker the closer they got. The air felt cooler there. When they reached the shore, the lake looked calm. Too calm. No birds. No frogs. No bugs buzzing. Just quiet water. "That's weird," Marcus said softly. Tyler shrugged. "Perfect fishing weather." They set up the tent near the trees and pushed the small rowboat into the water. It creaked as they climbed inside. At first, everything felt normal. Tyler caught a small bass. Ethan caught nothing. Marcus almost fell trying to grab his line. They laughed. The sun started to set. The sky turned orange and pink. Then Tyler felt something tug his line. Hard. "Whoa," he said. "This one's big." He pulled back, but whatever was on the other end didn't move. It felt stuck. "Probably caught on a log," Ethan said. Tyler kept pulling. Then the line moved. Not like a fish. It moved slow. Heavy. Like something dragging itself across the bottom of the lake. Marcus leaned over the side of the boat and looked into the water. "I don't see anything." Tyler pulled harder. Suddenly, the line went slack. The hook snapped free and flew back, almost hitting Ethan. "Dang it," Tyler said. He reeled the line back in. The hook was bent. And covered in something thick and dark. "Is that mud?" Ethan asked. Tyler touched it. It wasn't mud. It felt sticky. And it smelled bad. Like something rotten. Marcus looked uneasy. "Let's go back to shore." Tyler rolled his eyes but agreed. That night, they sat by a small campfire. The woods were quiet. Too quiet. "No crickets," Ethan whispered. Marcus nodded. "Told you this place is weird." Tyler tried to joke, but even he felt strange. Then they heard it. A splash. Not near them. Far out in the lake. A loud one. They all turned. The water rippled in a circle, even though nothing had jumped. It looked like something had gone down, not up. "Probably a big fish," Tyler said, but his voice shook a little. They went into the tent soon after. Around midnight, Ethan woke up. He heard water. Dripping. Slow. Drip. 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 He thought it was rain. But the tent wasn't wet. The sound was outside. Right next to them. Ethan slowly unzipped the tent and peeked out. The campfire was out. The moon lit up the lake. And something was standing at the edge of the water. Tall. Thin. Grey. It was facing away from him. Water poured off its body. Drip. 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 Ethan's heart pounded so hard he thought it would explode. He shook Tyler awake. Someone's out there. Tyler rubbed his eyes. What? Marcus woke up too. They all looked out together. The shore was empty. Nothing there. You're dreaming, Tyler said. But the ground near the water was wet. Like something had just walked out. They didn't sleep much after that. In the morning, Tyler acted like nothing happened. Let's fish again, he said. Marcus didn't want to. But Ethan didn't want to seem scared. So they pushed the boat out again. The lake was quiet. Still no birds. Still no bugs. They rowed to the middle. Tyler cast his line first. Then Ethan. Then Marcus. They waited. Nothing happened for a while. Then Marcus felt something brush his foot. Under the boat. He froze. Guys, he whispered. Something bumped the bottom of the boat. Hard. The boat rocked. Tyler laughed nervously. Big fish. Then something scraped along the side of the boat. Slow. Like fingernails. Ethan grabbed the flashlight and shined it into the water. The beam cut through the dark surface. For a second, he saw something. A shape. Moving below them. Not swimming. Standing. Under the boat. On the bottom of the lake. And it was looking up. The flashlight flickered. Then went out. Marcus screamed. The boat jerked violently. Water splashed inside. Tyler tried to row back to shore. But something grabbed the oar from below. And pulled it under. They were stuck. Then Tyler's fishing rod bent sharply. His line pulled tight. Harder than before. Way harder. Help me, he shouted. And that's when the water exploded. And something began rising from beneath them. Reaching for Tyler. And this time, it wasn't letting go. Tyler's scream was cut off as the grey hand dragged him under the water. Tyler! Ethan shouted. Marcus dove toward the edge of the boat, reaching into the lake, but all he felt was cold water and nothing else. The surface closed like nothing had happened. The boat tipped hard to one side. Water poured in. Swim! Ethan yelled. They jumped. The lake felt like ice. It stole the air from Ethan's chest. He kicked hard, fighting panic. Marcus splashed beside him. Behind them, the boat flipped completely over. Ethan did not look back. He was too scared of what he might see. They swam for shore as fast as they could. The water felt thick, like it was trying to hold them in place. Ethan felt something brush past his leg. He kicked harder. Finally, his hands hit mud. He crawled onto the shore, coughing and shaking. Marcus collapsed beside him. They both turned toward the lake. It was calm again. Flat. Silent. No bubbles. No sign of Tyler. Marcus started crying. We have to go back. We have to get him. Ethan's whole body shook. Did you see it? That wasn't a fish. That wasn't anything normal. Marcus wiped his eyes. We can't just leave him. They stood there for a long time, staring at the water. Nothing moved. Finally, Ethan said, we need help. They ran. They didn't grab their bikes. They didn't grab the tent. They just ran down the dirt road toward town, barefoot and soaking wet. By the time they reached the first house, the sun was high in the sky. A woman watering her garden gasped when she saw them. What happened? Ethan could barely talk. Our friend, the lake, something pulled him under. Police cars came fast. So did an ambulance. Tyler's parents arrived, pale and shaking. Search boats covered Black Hollow Lake all afternoon. Divers went down. They found the flipped rowboat. They found the broken oar. They found Tyler's tackle box floating near the shore. But they did not find Tyler. Not that day. Not the next day. After 3 days, the police said it was likely a drowning. It's a deep lake, one officer told them gently. Strong undercurrents. Ethan wanted to scream at him. Undercurrents don't have hands. Marcus stopped talking much after that. He barely left his house. At night, Ethan could still hear Tyler scream in his head. 1 week later, they held a small memorial near the lake. Tyler's mom cried the whole time. Flowers floated on the water. Ethan stood very still. He kept staring at the middle of the lake. He felt like something was staring back. That night, Ethan had a dream. He was standing in the lake. Not swimming. Standing. The water only reached his knees. Even though he knew the lake was deep. Tyler stood far out in the water. But he wasn't moving. Tyler! Ethan called. Tyler slowly turned around. His skin was grey. His eyes were gone. Just smooth skin. Water poured from his mouth. And then his arm stretched out. Too long. Longer than normal. Reaching for Ethan. Ethan woke up screaming. The next morning, he found something strange. On his bedroom floor. Mud. Wet lake mud. Leading from his window. To his bed. His heart pounded. He lived miles from the lake. His window had been closed. Ethan told his parents. They thought maybe he sleepwalked outside. But he knew he didn't. He checked his closet. Nothing. He looked under his bed. Nothing. Still, the room felt colder than usual. At school, Marcus looked worse. You're not sleeping either, are you? Ethan asked quietly. Marcus shook his head. I hear water, Marcus whispered. Every night. Dripping in my room. Ethan felt sick. Have you gone near the lake? Marcus asked. No. Marcus looked down. I did. Ethan grabbed his arm. Why would you do that? I had to know, Marcus said. I went yesterday evening. I stood on the shore. And? Marcus swallowed hard. I saw him. Ethan's chest tightened. Saw who? Tyler. The word hung in the air. Marcus's hands trembled. He was standing in the water. Not swimming. Just standing. Like he could breathe down there. Ethan felt dizzy. Did he say anything? Marcus shook his head. He just stared at me. Then he slowly sank under. Ethan didn't want to believe it. But he remembered the dream. The mud. The feeling of being watched. That night, Ethan locked his bedroom door. He pushed his dresser in front of it. He told himself it was silly. Around midnight, he heard it again. Drip. 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 Coming from inside his room. Not outside. Inside. His breath became slow and shaky. The sound came from the corner. Near his closet. Drip. 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 Ethan slowly turned on his bedside lamp. The room looked normal. But the closet door was open. He was sure he had closed it. Water pooled on the floor beneath it. Dark water. Lake water. Ethan grabbed a baseball bat from under his bed. He stepped closer. The smell hit him first. Rotten. Wet. Like something that had been underwater too long. Tyler, he whispered, even though he didn't want it to be him. The dripping stopped. Silence filled the room. Ethan stood frozen. Then something inside the closet moved. A slow shifting sound. Like skin sliding against wood. The light flickered. The closet door creaked wider. And a grey hand slowly wrapped around the edge of the door. Long fingers. Wet skin. Ethan stumbled backward. The hand tightened. Another hand appeared above it. Then a head slowly leaned out from the darkness. Smooth face. No eyes. No mouth. Just that long crack across where the mouth should be. Water poured from it onto Ethan's carpet. It tilted its head. Like it was curious. Like it recognized him. Ethan raised the bat, shaking. Stay back. The creature twitched. Then it made a sound. Not a roar. Not a scream. A wet, choking whisper. And inside that whisper, Ethan heard his name. In Tyler's voice. The light bulb burst. The room went dark. Something cold grabbed his wrist and yanked him toward the closet. Ethan screamed as he felt himself pulled forward, toward the dripping darkness. And the closet floor opened beneath him like deep water. The closet floor felt like ice-cold water swallowing Ethan whole. He fell through darkness. But he did not hit the ground. Instead, he splashed. Freezing water closed over his head. He could not see. He could not breathe. His arms flailed wildly as he tried to swim up. But which way was up? Everything was black. His lungs burned. Then suddenly, his head broke through the surface. He gasped. He was back in Black Hollow Lake. But it was night. The sky above him was dark blue, with no stars. The moon looked too big. Too close. Ethan spun around in the water. He was far from shore. And the lake was perfectly still. "Help!" he shouted. His voice echoed strangely, like it was underwater even though he was above it. Then he saw something. Shapes under the surface. Moving. Circling him. Slow at first. Then faster. His heart pounded. "Tyler!" he whispered. One of the shapes rose. A grey head broke through the water. Smooth face. Long fingers. Then another rose. And another. And another. There were more of them. Dozens. All around him. Every single one had the same blank face. The same long crack where a mouth should be. And then, all at once, those cracks opened. Not wide. Just enough. And water poured out of each one like tiny waterfalls. They began to whisper. The sound was soft but everywhere. "Ethan! Ethan! Ethan!" He covered his ears. "Stop!" One of the creatures moved closer. It reached out with its long arm. Its fingers brushed his shoulder. Ice spread through his body. His muscles locked. He couldn't move. The creature leaned closer. And for a second, its blank face changed. Eyes slowly formed. A nose. A mouth. It became Tyler. But wrong. His skin was pale grey. His eyes were cloudy. Water streamed from his lips. "Come with us," Tyler said in a slow, broken voice. "You're not Tyler." Ethan cried. Tyler's face flickered. Back to blank. Then back to Tyler. "You left me." Ethan shook his head. "We tried to save you." The creatures began to close in tighter. The water around him felt heavy, pulling him down. Tyler reached for him again. This time, Ethan forced his body to move. He swung his arm and pushed the creature away. The moment he touched it, he felt something strange. Not just cold. Sadness. Loneliness. Like being trapped forever in dark water. The creatures hissed softly. The lake began to spin. A whirlpool formed beneath him. Ethan was dragged down again. This time, he didn't fight. He opened his eyes underwater. And he saw the truth. At the bottom of the lake, there was something glowing. A deep blue light. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. The creatures swam toward it. Tyler swam beside him. "This is where we stay," Tyler whispered inside his mind. His mouth did not move. Ethan saw shapes on the lake floor. Old fishing rods. Broken boats. Rusty anchors. And bones. But not fresh bones. Very old ones. The blue light came from a crack in the lake bed. A long, glowing tear in the earth. Water poured into it endlessly, even though they were already underwater. Tyler pointed at it. "It called me," he said. Ethan remembered that morning. Tyler saying he felt something pull the fishing line. Something strong. It wasn't a fish. It was this. The crack pulsed brighter. The creatures circled it like guards. Ethan felt the pull again. Stronger. Like the lake wanted him to. "You can stay," Tyler said gently. "It's quiet here. No pain. No fear." For a second, Ethan felt tired. So tired. Like it would be easier to stop fighting. To sink. To let the water fill his lungs. But then he thought of his mom. His dad. Marcus. He thought of sunlight. Warm air. He shook his head. No. The crack flashed bright blue. The creatures shrieked. The sound vibrated through the water like thunder. Tyler's face twisted. Then it will take you. The lake floor split open wider. The blue light shot upward like a beam. It wrapped around Ethan's legs. He screamed, but only bubbles came out. The creatures rushed toward him. And then everything exploded in white light. Ethan woke up on the shore of Black Hollow Lake. Morning sun warmed his face. He coughed up water. Real water. Police officers stood nearby. An ambulance was parked close to the road. Marcus ran toward him. "You're alive." Ethan blinked. "What happened?" Marcus looked shaken. "Your parents found you missing this morning. Your bedroom window was open. They called the police. Someone found you floating near the shore." Ethan slowly sat up. Floating. Like Tyler had. He turned his head toward the lake. It looked normal. Peaceful. Calm. Like it always did. Did they find anything else? Ethan asked quietly. Marcus shook his head. "No." The police said Ethan must have sleepwalked again. They said stress and trauma can make people do strange things. They said the human mind can imagine monsters. But Ethan knew what he saw. That night, he lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. No dripping sounds. No mud. No whispers. For the first time in weeks, the house felt quiet. Maybe it was over. Maybe the lake had let him go. Days passed. Then weeks. Summer slowly ended. School started again. Marcus began acting normal. Ethan almost convinced himself it had been grief. A broken mind making broken dreams. Until one afternoon. He was walking home from school when he saw a group of kids near the lake entrance. 2 boys and a girl. They were carrying fishing poles. Laughing. One of the boys said loudly, "I heard this lake has the biggest fish in the county." Ethan's stomach dropped. He ran toward them. "Don't fish here," he shouted. They stared at him like he was crazy. "Why not?" the girl asked. Ethan looked at the lake. The water was smooth. Too smooth. "Just don't," he said. One of the boys rolled his eyes. "Relax. It's just water." They walked past him. Down toward the dock. Ethan stood frozen. He wanted to grab them. To drag them away. But what would he say? There are grey creatures with no faces at the bottom. There's a glowing crack in the earth. He would sound insane. The kids reached the dock. They cast their lines. The floats bobbed gently. The lake stayed calm. For 5 long minutes, nothing happened. Ethan almost felt relief. Then, one of the floats jerked hard. The boy holding the rod laughed. "Whoa! I got something big." The line pulled tight. The rod bent sharply. Ethan's heart pounded. "Let it go," he screamed. But the boy only grinned. "This is awesome." The water in the middle of the lake began to ripple. Not near the dock. Farther out. A wide circle forming. Growing. Spreading. The other kids noticed. What's that?" the girl asked softly. The boy kept pulling. "I almost got it." The rod snapped. The line whipped back. The boy stumbled. For 1 second, everything was silent. Then the lake exploded. Water shot high into the air. A massive shape rose from the center. Not small like before. Not human-sized. Huge. Towering above the surface. Made of twisting grey bodies. Dozens of faceless forms tangled together. And at the very top, Tyler's face opened its eyes. This time, the eyes were deep blue. Glowing. And they locked onto Ethan. The giant shape began moving toward the dock. Fast. The kids screamed. Ethan ran toward them as the water surged forward like a living wall. And the towering creature reached the shore.